Hello, and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Dr. Allison Chiwara. I am the CEO and founder of Human Focus Limited, a company that is dedicated to creating happier and healthier workplaces and workforces, as well as incredible communities. As we find ourselves in the heart of February, with, of course, Valentine's Day on the horizon, I wanted to take this time to really talk about love, not just in the romantic form, but love as a sort of a force, if you like, that powers us both on a personal and professional level. Love at its core is a fascinating concept. I've heard people say, I feel giddy, I feel like a teenager when you're in love. Across various cultures, it's one thing that transcends all language, all culture, or religion. It's celebrated, it's sung about, and revered. But what I wanted to do is just really allow us to really look at what is love. And what about if I told you that the essence of love could also be the key to your potential in your life generally, but also at work? Well, today I want to explore the idea that love, whether for yourself, for others, or for what you do, is really or can be a driving force behind your growth. I wanted to start with a really cute story. Imagine a sculptor in Florence, the heart of Italy, slowly and lovingly chiseling away at a massive block of marble. I know, marble, I love marble. For weeks, all passers-by see is a man or woman sweating under this hot sun, chipping away, hacking away at this stone. But here's the thing. The sculptor, let's just call him Michelangelo, shall we? He sees something else entirely from what the passers-by see. Michelangelo once said that I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. How beautiful is that? What's remarkable about this quote is how it actually reflects both on love and our vision. Michelangelo's work required perhaps plenty of dedication, self-belief in what he can see, to then carve it into a vision that all can see. And the connection to this process of loving just a piece of stone. But he can see the beauty before we all can see it. We all see the ugly, the bad, the hot sun that he's sweating under, the hacking away and chiseling away. But he could see much, much more. He could see an angel in the marble. And all he wanted to do was to set that angel free. How beautiful. So the same principle applies to us, I feel. So it's whether we are perhaps trying to grow professionally or personally, the angel we are trying to free is actually ourselves. Can we agree on that? That angel we are trying to free is ourselves. Which then brings me to the first layer of our conversation, love for yourself. In neuroscience, which I absolutely adore, self-love is more than just a feel-good feeling or concept. It really is biological. It's a biological necessity, self-love. So when we practice self-compassion, self-love, we activate our brain's parasympathetic nervous system. So our parasympathetic nervous system reduces stress, and boosts emotional confidence and emotional resilience. So studies from universities, especially one University of California, have shown that self-compassion is actually directly linked to motivation. Did you hear that? So, self-compassion is directly linked to motivation. Now, that has to count for something, doesn't it? It has to. It has to count for something. So it's not about letting yourself off the hook by nurturing yourself to keep going. Think of it like tending a garden. I always like to use analogs. You wouldn't yell at a flower to grow, would you? Instead, you would water it. Make sure that it's sitting in beautiful sunlight or has direct sunlight coming to it. And then you let it bloom in its own time. That is self-love in practice. And nothing beats that. In Japan, there's a concept called amae. A-M-A-E. A-M-A-E. Which refers to the sense of comfort when we rely on others. So again, what am I trying to say is that self-love doesn't mean doing it all alone. There's a part of you that must rely on others. Sometimes it's about allowing others to support us while we're chiseling away at our marbles. At that marble, your marble. Okay? Then there's the other bit, the second layer. The love for what you do. The love for what we do. There's an old African proverb, if you allow me. Of course, I like to travel around the world with you, with philosophies, language. And I have been absolutely enjoying this journey myself. Now, it says that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This honestly just doesn't apply to a relationship. It applies to your work and your purpose. So we say that the second layer is about love for what you do. When you love what you do, it becomes so easy to welcome challenges, face challenges head on. And neuroscience actually backs this up. So you've ever heard of dopamine? It's often called the motivation molecule. So it's released when we actually engage in, say, activities that really align to what we love, our passions, the things that make us get up in the morning or at night or whenever we are tired and go, yes, I want to do this. It's why athletes talk about being in the zone, or why artists lose track of time when they're creating, when they're singing, and when they are on stage. But here's the catch though. Love for what you do doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. Sometimes, like I always say, love is about showing up on the hard days, okay? Those sweaty, hard days when somebody's chiseling away at it. When the passion feels more like a faint ember, that little flickering light in the end, but you can see it's there, than the roaring flame that we would want to see on any one good day. Think of it as a marriage between you and your craft, you and your profession. It requires commitment. A certain level of patience. Of course, don't be tolerant to everything, but also most important, and I always say this, and it's something that I am incredibly precious about. It requires intention and a willingness to grow together. Now that's profound, isn't it? I want us to take a little pause there for a moment. And I want us to travel. I really wanted to travel to Hong Kong, but we'll go to South Korea today, where the concept of Jeong, Jeong, comes into play. Jeong is a deep, rather emotional connection that knows no time, no circumstances. It's often used to describe the bond people feel towards their community or their work. Jeong, Jeong. What if we just approach your career, your love life with that sort of love? What would it look like to build a relationship with your professional goals? What would it look like to fall in love with your work? To treat it like you would have loved a loved one. What would it look like? In the workplace, of course, I always think that there's always a need to talk about the love that we extend to others. So in the workplace, this means perhaps mentoring a colleague, giving credit where it's due, or just simply being kind. In our personal lives, it might mean showing maybe a little bit of gratitude to those who support us or forgiving us when we've hurt them. But even just being appreciative and acknowledging and validating others' feelings towards us, I think it's beautiful. Extending our love to others beyond our immediate connections. The late Maya Angelou, who I absolutely adore, once said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. The truth is very universal. Whether you are in a team, raising a family, pursuing your dreams, pursuing somebody, or the impact you leave on others often comes down to the love and respect you show them. I feel when things are done with love, they leave a better mark. Honestly, when somebody does it because it's their chore, it's received, but it's not felt deep enough or deeply. But when we do things with love and intentionality, then the impact is much more deeper. In neuroscience, we talk about the love hormone, oxytocin. It plays a role here too. It's often released not just in moments of just romantic connections, as we know, but in acts of trust. When I can trust you to open up, when I can call you to tell you about what a hard time I'm having at home, when I can call you to tell you about a hard time I'm perhaps having with a colleague or my work, then there we have something extraordinary. So it's the connection we have when we're building collaboration, that empathy, that does release the love hormone, believe it or not. When you uplift others, you are creating an environment where both you and them can actually excel and thrive. That is something that we often don't see as extending love to others, but it truly is. A beautiful example kind of comes to mind of the Maori culture, which I absolutely love and I'm learning lots about, where the concept of manakitanga, which is Manakitanga. This concept is so central to them. It sort of talks about the idea of extending love and hospitality to others. So a warm welcome, creating this effect of kindness and mutual respect when people visit, or when people come to visit or come into their environment. So imagine what our workplaces and communities could absolutely look like if we all embrace Mana Kitanga. I just wonder. So, again, in the essence, as we celebrate Valentine's Week, I want us to expand our understanding of love beyond that which I have perhaps shared with you, and slightly different to what most will be sharing this week. Let's see it as more than chocolates and roses. Let's see it as the chiseling away of our own potential, the commitment to our profession, the kindness we extend to those around us and others beyond us. I'll leave you with this thought though. What would you like life to look like if you approach it differently? With the same love that Michelangelo had for his angel in the marble, you know? What would your life look like if you simply approached it with the same love, the same passion, the same vision that Michelangelo had for the angel in the marble that others could not see, but they saw him toiling, sweating under the heat? I want us to take a moment to reflect. Maybe, just maybe, it's about loving yourself enough to set those boundaries. Maybe, and just maybe, it's about falling back in love with your work, or finding work you can fall in love with. Maybe it's about connecting with those weak ties we talked about last week. Or depending on where you are, you may want to deepen your existing bonds. It is Valentine's after all, isn't it? A week of love. But I do want you to remember that love isn't just a feeling. I feel giddy saying it. It isn't just a feeling. It's an action. It's the things that we intentionally commit to, the things that we say and follow through to do. The things that we say, and we see those that we love, they can see the actions of what we mean, what we say. There's no greater love than that. So love isn't just a feeling, it's an action, it's the things that we put in. That magical ingredient that we put into making our relationships, our work feels so much more fun and becomes a passion. And I feel it's one of the most powerful tools we have in terms of our growth. I may be wrong, but again, what if we just approached everything that looks so hard, that looks like as if there's so much hard work to go into it, from the perception of Michelangelo that he had in his hand? It was a vision of an angel in the marble that needed to be free. And when it was free, everybody could see this beautiful angel that Michelangelo had carved. I love the idea of love. And I am so lucky to have so much love surrounding me, so much love poured into my cup on a daily basis. And I am so lucky to be able to give out some of my love. But here's the thing. Have I imagined and approached life and love with the same lenses as Michelangelo? Seeing the angel in the marble, it doesn't matter how much work is ahead. Have I? Perhaps not. Could I do better? 100%. Perhaps I could just love a little bit deeper. Deep enough to vision that angel in the marble and allow it to set itself free. Thank you for joining me on this episode, talking about the heart of growth. It's happy Valentine's week from me to you. And next week, we'll talk about what love means and knowing when to release what no longer serves us. Until then, ladies and gents, boys and girls, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Most importantly, please, please be kind to the journey that you're on. It requires you, the whole of you, to embrace it fully. And I send you, of course, virtual roses and chocolates and bottles of champagne to those that drink. And just keep chiseling away and be committed. Goodbye from me to you and your household, perhaps. And goodbye from Human Focus to your organization and your household too. Until next time, goodbye for now.